We're focusing on African education. It's African Education Week, and South Africa will spend about 23 billion rand to improve school infrastructure. ICT systems specifically have been identified as a way to alleviate challenges in education. Joining us to discuss the feasibility of these methods, Johannes Cronje, Dean of Informatics and Design at Cape Peninsula University of Technology. Thanks for joining us today, Johannes. So you've been involved, been an advocate for putting computers in schools for many years now. South Africa hasn't embraced the concept of ICT in the education system.
Yeah, we started in the late 1980s by putting some computers in schools of all places in the Free State province. And it worked incredibly well. And the reason it worked so well is that we empowered the teachers first. The way we did it was we found some schools that would really make a difference. Then in those schools we found some teachers who would really make a difference. And then we empowered those teachers by giving them 7 computers per classroom for 21 kids, which meant that you could have 3 kids to a computer. And that's how it started, and it worked really, really well. And then when the project stopped, those computers are still in those schools. All the schools have had new computers installed there. But what we did really right was to focus on the teachers who would make a difference.
Mm-hmm. So the teachers are a pivotal kind of cog in the delivery of e-learning.
Absolutely, but the teachers are in the delivery of making learners want to learn. There's a beautiful Afrikaans word called lus. Lus means very much the same as the English word lust. Mm-hmm. And that's what a teacher's job is, to make learners want to learn, to make learners lust after learning. And because the information is already out there, students can get it through Google, they can get it through Wikipedia, through various other websites. What the teachers need to do is to create those opportunities within which the learners can get their learning done.
So we're going to the issue around teachers here in South Africa, which of course has been talked about a lot, inspiring teachers, getting teachers on board, as opposed to the issue around really delivery through ICT, which you say is embraced already?
If you make a mess of something, you then put computers in there. The computers will help you to make an even bigger mess. Mm-hmm. You need to get it right, and then the computers will help you make it right. And I'm not meaning computers anymore. I think we need to look at technology. Mm-hmm. What I'm finding interesting is that we're now thinking about putting tablets in schools of the computerized type, not medicine, but learners already have really good mobile telephones. And what we really need to do is to give them bandwidth. A learner can type on that phone with his thumbs much quicker than you and I could use a full keyboard. So why have a tablet when a learner can actually get that information right down onto his own phone? What we need to look at is...
But practically, learning off a small screen like a phone screen certainly doesn't sound appealing to someone like me.
Exactly.
How do you get around that?
You and I are called 4-screen people. We have a little screen for our telephone, we have a medium screen for our iPad, we have a laptop screen, and then we have a TV screen. Mm-hmm. Our younger kids, my own kids, are 1-screen people. They have a device that is this size, which they play their games, they send their messages, they watch their movies because they watch online movies, everything from that single little screen. And they are used to reading in that text, and they are used to writing. They can type faster with their 2 thumbs and autocorrect than you and I can type with our 10 fingers. What we need to do is give them free bandwidth to things like Wikipedia and the Khan Academy and various of these other places, and then give them tasks with which they can use that free bandwidth. We need to think completely differently about how education works. On a mobile phone are apps such as Twitter, which they can get news as it happens while it happens. On a mobile phone are apps like geocaching, where they can go to buried treasure that teaches them about history. I use Foursquare that tells people where I am. But we could go send learners on tours of their environment using Foursquare. So to say we're wanting to put computers in there, no, we need to look at the little opportunities that there are. Mm-hmm. A dictionary, for instance. Why have a tablet for a dictionary if you can just put it on your cell phone?
Yeah. So basically right now, a focus potentially on bandwidth, given that many students have the technology, is where you're going at with this. I mean, how is government understanding this? Is the Education Ministry cognizant of the fact that internet provision could be the next cog in the ICT role in learning?
No, the way I see it, government is still saying, let's throw computers at the problem. Instead of saying, let's teach the learners to want to learn. Let's teach the teachers to get the learners to want to learn. I'm not seeing anybody taking care of teachers. And this is my problem with technology in the country as we're doing it now. We need to take care of the teachers, we need to empower the teachers to use technology, and then they will use the technology.
How do you teach the teachers also to teach the learners to deal with the information proliferation? The fact that, of course, the internet opens your world up to global information overload potentially.
Because the teachers are already there, they just haven't realized it yet. We are still in a paradigm where the principal says to the teachers, the kids must switch their cell phones off when they come to class. We haven't got to the stage where the principal says to the teachers, the same way that you are using your phone to stay up to date with things, your kids can also do it. Or they're already doing it. Your kids are already on Facebook. Are you there? We're saying every kid should have an email address. What kid still uses email? Kids use Facebook. They get messages to each other through Facebook and WhatsApp. Are the teachers there? No. Why not? Because we're not sending the teachers information through Facebook, and we're not sending the teachers information through WhatsApp.
Schools want to manage what the learners are doing in the classrooms, and of course, yes, you can be on Facebook with your teachers in a learning group, but you can also be distracted.
Exactly. That's the big problem of it. The schools believe that the teacher must know more than the kids, and so the teacher prepares by taking some information, making it a bit less and giving that to the kids. If the kids can then learn half of that, which is even less, or if they pass a third of that, that's a pass on the standard grade. So the way we do it, where we think the school has the information and the kids must try and get that, the information becomes less and less and less. And of course, that's why they are called lessons. And we need to get into a world where it doesn't work with lessons, where we know that the kids know more than we, and that the kids are able to manage more than we do. And we need to excite the kids to do that, and we need to teach them the strategies of dealing with information overload. Kids need,
because that's the reality of the world right now. Examples of where this is working. Give us a kind of a micro example in South Africa where a school is embracing technology and the teachers are empowering learners.
There's a little school in the Eastern Cape where a woman called Maggie Verster and Adele Botha are currently working. A very small school where the kids are using 4 or 5 SIM cards, because you get a free 3 free please call me's, and you can put your own name in. And the kids are using that to get information to each other in this very tiny, very poor school. These kids are getting way beyond, because they can, and they're using any make of cell phone that they can have, whether it be a smartphone. What we found is that most kids, almost all kids already have feature phones, which is not quite a smartphone, but they can download apps from that and so on. And so those kids who don't have running water or clean toilets actually have up-to-date information straight away.
Do you see them being uplifted out of their situation?
Absolutely, because they can empower themselves, they can complain about where and they can leapfrog things which they wouldn't have had access.